Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Mr. McGough, I don't know if you would entertain doing something with the fee structure for the pools in Scranton, but if you could find a way to introduce something meaningful, whatever that may be, I think the residents in the city would really appreciate that. The other thing I have here tonight is, you know, for decades, coming here for a couple decades, people used to laugh about these meetings and thought they were silly. And they really didn't really see the whole picture, and they really didn't understand a lot, but they thought it was entertaining. And I guess now the show has ended, only we didn't pay admission going in, but we're paying it coming out. And there aren't very many happy people out here. And, you know, I mean, I talked about bankruptcy for a long time. I still think it's really the only option. I think the American people have been in a daydream state for a long time because every branch of our government is broken from the top right down to the very bottom. And I think the voters and the residents think that, you know, their vote is just a waste of time. But if they don't come back to the polls and do something soon, I think our only hope, as crazy as it might sound, is some kind of revolution on the ground, because that's what brought us to this country. This is how this country was founded. We got tired of the British pounding the whatever you want to call out of us, and some people stood up and did something about it. And as a Scrantonian, as I look at the debt we're facing, and the solutions we've had, and the solutions we've tried, and the troubles ahead of us, and then, you know, my question here is real simple. Why weren't the people who mismanaged this city for decades prosecuted and put in jail? And why does it take the federal government so long to step in on every issue? And then, of course, who's watching the feds? But, you know, listening to residents in the city talk about what's taking place now, they think it's comical. They just don't see how this can actually take place. When we come up with, you know, how does a pension fund fall this far behind? What were the representatives of the union doing as this was taking place? As the city itself decayed over decades, where was everybody in elective office that were taking these votes? And how did they come to the conclusions that any of these votes were in the best interest of the residents? Is it going to be in the best interest of the residents if we lose firemen again? I mean, you know, there's a lot of situations going on in this city, even at times where police officers don't even show up for hearings. Is it because we don't have enough police? We have a lot of very serious problems here. And another tax increase isn't going to be the answer. And, you know, with all due respect to you, Mr. Rogan, charging $5 for a bag of garbage is ridiculous. Because to be honest with you, the reason we're charging these fees is because we've mismanaged our assets, not just Scranton, tons of communities. And to keep coming back, give this a little thought. $20,000 allegedly is the average earning capacity of a Scrantonian. And you know, when I listen to Mr. Yudichak talk on talk radio here, he's giving us political talking points instead of talking about reality. He's talking about 25% of children living in poverty. Well, why are all our jobs in other countries? Because if the child's in poverty, then I guess the parents are in poverty too. I mean, we've just taken a country right to its knees. And my question is, are the residents in this country ever going to stand up to this government and tell them we can't pay anymore, start prosecuting the people we've elected that run around dressed funny with suits on and skirts and blouses and make themselves look like professionals? But really, I don't know, I won't call them thieves, but I don't know what to call them, because how can every branch of government be broke, and how can the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania talk about being $50 billion short on state pension funds? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. People like Doug Miller or Mr. Gahan, I just don't see what kind of life you're going to have. I mean, where is it going to lead us to? Where is all this money going to come from? Why are all the big corporations moving their money outside the country and contributing nothing to our society? Because the Congress and Senate left them do it. It's not a Democrat-Republican issue. It's elected officials who don't serve the people who elect them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to?